Hi, everybody. I want to make a video that is a little bit difficult for me to make because everything in this world is like nuance. And as soon as you say one thing, people assume that you are far right or far left or whatever. And um, I don't know how to overcome that or how to incorporate nuance into everything that I'm saying. But I'm going to try. So I find that within the anti-feminist world, especially within the woman against feminism anti-feminist world, in the past, what you found was that you have a lot of traditional-minded women and you have a lot of liberal-minded women. The liberal-minded women tend to be, would call themselves egalitarians, and they disagree with feminism based on the perspective that feminism is sexist, as it cares more about women than about men, when men also have issues. The traditional minded women are not so concerned with feminism being sexist, but traditional minded women feel that feminism was painted traditional relationships and history in an unfair light and was unfair to men, in the sense that it did not fully recognize the sacrifices that men have made throughout history and that men within the traditional hemisphere or within the traditional world continue to make and have always made. I mean, traditional minded women feel that, for example, feminism paints traditional men as patriarchs who um, lead and don't care about women or something, but it doesn't recognize that within the traditional world, men have to sacrifice a lot to provide and to protect. They sacrifice their health, their safety, and all of that, and everything that they sacrifice for is for the woman. So the traditional minded women are upset that feminism doesn't recognize this balance. What they look at as complete inequality or preference for men is actually something that is more equal than feminists might think. It was equality, it just wasn't equality in terms of people doing exactly the same thing. So you have these sort of two groups of people within women against feminism, and you find that I think that over the years and with time, what I find is that although we had these traditional minded women in the past, they are not speaking up anymore. They have retreated, and they have retreated to, well, a lot of these women come from religion, from churches and stuff like this, so they retreat to their own world, to their own church communities, and I suppose to, I don't know, conservatism and other places. I'm not sure where, but the point is they don't speak up as much anymore. And a part of the reason why traditional women don't speak up, I think, is because it is not seen as feminine, and it is not feminine in a sense, because in their world, uh, they are women. They are feminine. They are, the softer voice. And I also face this problem in that they don't want to upset people or to spend their time or life arguing with people. And if people say to them, "Oh, you're bad," which is basically what they get, you're bad for supporting a movement that used to oppress, well, did that oppresses also LGBT people. You're bad for wanting something from men, maybe that is slavery. You're bad for wanting to take us back into the past or whatever. So when this stuff happens, then they sort of retreat and then they get out. And because it also, you have to remember that feminist culture has put this sort of halo on everything, where if you say something like that you want something different from equality as they define it, then you are seen already as a bad person, right? And so you have this problem that I think traditional women have been silenced. This is just my personal view, by the way. This has nothing to do with the views of women against feminism. This is just my personal view, what I have seen or what I think I've seen. So And this kind of makes me very sad because I think it was really a good thing when traditional women were able to come out and speak out a little bit and say, in a safe space. I really liked the traditional setup, and I don't feel like it was unfair to women or to men. I feel like that was a version of equality that we had, and that it worked well for them personally. And I think that there are a lot of people in society who the traditional setup does work well for or has worked well for, and that if you think about it from an MRA perspective, if you believe in like hypergamy and women being more sexually attracted to men who um, can protect and provide, that it also fits in with the traditional rule. And if that is a part of female nature for many women, not all, but for a huge percentage of the population, then this works well to have a sort of traditional setup where he is more responsible for providing, and where he leads and she is able to submit to him based on these things. So um I don't know. I have the feeling that I wish that more traditional women were allowed to speak up in the anti-feminist world. Not allowed to, of course they're allowed to, but we're still speaking up, and that they didn't all just retreat to their safe space of the church and stuff where they weren't in in battle with others. But I also understand it because traditional women don't, they can't fight that well. They do retreat because that's a part of who they are. And but I think what they need to remember is that, you know, a lot of them will also have thought, oh, the men are the ones who have to fight for this. Because I mean, it's like you as a woman, you're asking for chivalry, you're asking for tradition for a man. It's like a lot to ask from men. It has to actually be the man who offers it first, not the woman. A woman cannot really ask a man for all these things. It's the man to offer it. So a lot of them probably feel like men have to fight that fight. But the thing is, and this brings me to another point, men are not going to fight. So I'm talking to traditional women here. Men are not going to fight feminism for the same reason that men can't hit a woman, so to speak. Men cannot fight feminism because feminist or feminism pretends to speak for women. And if feminism is speaking for women and women are telling men they don't want this, they don't want chivalry, they don't want this, you're a patriarch and we don't want to be oppressed, right? If feminists are allowed to say that in the name of women, if women are saying to men, we don't want this, this is oppression, men have no choice but to stop, because then it becomes abuse. It So it's like feminists took something that was what you see as a gift, right? It was actually men giving something to woman. The whole traditional thing, it's a gift, and it was appreciated, I'm sure, by women who are traditional. And today, I'm sure a lot of traditional women feel like, oh, we've lost that gift. We've lost chivalry. We've lost the idea of men wanting to provide for us, of men wanting to protect us, and that gift, they've lost that, right? Because the culture is changing. Now, if men offer that to women as a gift, and then feminists who say they are speaking for women come and say to men, well, your gift is oppression, well then obviously they have to take the gift away. There's no because what they were trying to do was something good, so they have no choice. And so the only way to really stop that, or to get what you would want, which would be the gift, right, would be for you as a traditional woman to come out and say, hey, actually, these women not speaking for me, I see that as important, I see that as a gift, I value everything that men within traditional society have offered to women, and I see what men offered to women, and I don't see it as oppression, and I don't see it as something that was meant to subjugate me. So, yeah, that's why I think it's a little bit important for traditional women to speak out. I don't know if this video is nonsense or not, but I thought in any case, I have to try and make more content because I want to revive or somehow create this channel, but I I don't know if this channel has much of a future because I see that anti-feminism is not trending. No one is paying attention to this stuff. And so maybe I'm just ranting and will be branded as crazy based on these videos and trying to take this anywhere, but I'm here. And I do believe that the voice of traditional women is worth listening to a little bit, because I think that for so long the louder women who are feminists have been able to speak and say that everything is wrong with anything that is not a vision of equality that they believe is equality. And that is a problem because there are women out there who see it differently. It's just that they're more quiet. And um, yes, liberalism should exist and people should be free to do whatever they want. But at the same time, uh, the voice of those don't who don't see the past like that and who don't need like everything to be the same to feel equal, that also needs to be heard. um it's probably a little too late because things have gotten so far, but anyway.